Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I have a pair of pants hanging in the background, which is unbecoming. Anyway, um, I wanted to talk today about the saying, feelings aren't facts. Feelings aren't facts. This is a saying that I've heard throughout sobriety, and I haven't really been a big fan of it. So I thought maybe we could talk through it and see what comes out on the other end. Um, I I don't remember if I recorded. I don't know when I recorded yesterday. I'm such a mess these days. Um, I don't even remember if I talked about my psychiatrist appointment or not, or if I recorded before my psychiatrist appointment. So I just, that's where I'm at these days. I feel like I'm just kind of lost in this. I can't process anything. Just telling you the truth. Anyway, so how am I feeling? About the same. Honestly, I'm feeling about the same. If I didn't tell you yesterday, I cried for an hour to my psychiatrist, and I can't say that anything was fixed, but I got it out, and that's a good thing. It didn't feel good, but I did it. And that was what I needed to do. That's what she reminded me, that's what strength looks like. Strength looks like getting help and showing the stuff that hurts, shining the light on the dark place. And it's interesting. Before I get into the topic of feelings aren't facts, I was listening to a message from this online church. I mean, it's a real, excuse me, it's a real church, but I listen online. It's called Freedom House, and it's out of North Carolina. And um, it was talking about attachment styles, in relationships and how our attachment style is cultivated from how we attach to our immediate family members when we were young, when we were little. And so I was able to identify with what they were talking about, and my attachment style, that seemed like it matched me, was called the anxious attachment style. And anyway, without going too far into that, in the end of the message, it was a couple that was delivering the message, and they were talking about how important it is to shine the light on the dark stuff. The dark place is what I heard. And that's not what they said. They were talking about um, shadow. They were more calling it shadows than dark place, but they did say in the darkness. And I was like, yeah, because our attachment style can be changed. Um, I may be have an anxious attachment style, but I have been working really hard throughout my sobriety to adjust my attachment style. And I can totally see that my attachment style with my husband, my boyfriend in the beginning, is different than it is with him today. And that's because of my sobriety program. That that I mean, that's the only thing that I can identify that changed it for me. I think I still have work to do, obviously, but it's changed a lot, and I had to look at the dark stuff, shine the light in my dark place in order to work on my attachment style and try to be better. Not better for him, that's gonna come as a result of having being better for myself, not holding on to all of that anxiety and those different things that go with it, jealousy and um, untrustworthiness and all of the things that I used to feel, and they were real to me, and that's why I wanted to talk about feelings aren't facts. Um, the phrase feelings aren't facts to me has bothered me because it feels dismissive, like my emotions don't matter. And in the beginning of my sobriety, when I would hear somebody say feelings aren't facts, I was like, yeah, they are. They're the only facts I know, right? Um, and so I didn't like when people would say that because um, it felt like it felt like I was just making shit up, Um, or that my mental illness, that I was mentally ill, right? So I think that feelings are real and they're valid, no matter how inaccurate they are of representing reality. To me, they are real. They feel like facts. Um, Emotions can distort reality for me. Not just for me, for all of us. And I see it in other people. I can see like how anger can completely change one's perception of another person. Okay, so um say I'm back at work, okay, and me and one of my peers are in a meeting with our boss. So this is just hypothetical, okay? And that person is angry, my peer is angry with my boss because he didn't get a promotion. Okay. Um, I'm not angry with my boss. Neither of us got a promotion. Okay. My, I'm not angry because I understand that the situation and why I didn't get one. Okay. And he's angry because he doesn't understand the situation and is not accepting the fact that he didn't get a promotion. Okay. It's just we're both having a different perception of the situation. Um, let's say that same boss says, I want us to go out and have lunch together, the three of us. Where I want us to go to I want us to talk about it. Well, we can get off the phone with our boss and I can think, okay, well, I didn't get a promotion, but at least I get to go to lunch. And my peer can think, I don't want to freaking go to lunch with him because there's nothing he can say that's going to make me um be okay with the fact that I didn't get a promotion. And then we can end up going to lunch, and I think my meal's delicious, and my peer is like just not even hungry and just pissed off the whole time. So like that was totally hypothetical, but my our emotions distorted our perception of reality. My boss didn't say anything more about our promotion or lack thereof or anything. We just went and we told stories to each other. But yet I had a good time and my peer did not. That that emotion, those feelings are stuck in his craw, like in his dark place, and they are real to him. And they're valid because he worked hard for the past year. He worked harder than I did, let's say. Nobody works harder than me, right? Um, he worked hard and his feelings are valid that he should have gotten a promotion. Well, then my peer goes home at night and he thinks nobody cares about me, you know? Um, my wife doesn't care. My kids don't care. You see, so those feelings about his lack of promotion continue to alter his perception about what's going on. His wife totally loves him, and his kids just want to play PlayStation with him. Um, but he is feeling so down in the dumps because he did not get the reward for his hard work that he expected, that now he feels like nobody cares. And that is a distortion of reality. Then he thinks when he's making dinner and he burns the French fries, I'm a failure, right? I'm a failure. I can't do anything right. Um, and that seems like a really aggressive tale about how somebody's feelings progress into this massive distortion of feeling like a failure, but it's not too far off. It's not too far off. For me, it's not too far off. Um, I struggle with feelings aren't facts because he is thinking I'm a failure. He believes he's a failure. I get that he's not a failure, and that's what that means, that feelings aren't facts. But feelings, I feel like there should be something in between there that says feelings are valid, but they aren't facts, something like that. It just, to me, when I hear that phrase, I think that feelings, my feelings are being minimized. My struggles are being minimized. It makes me feel like, okay, feelings aren't facts. Oh, well, then I should just dump it, But it's not that easy. Feelings may not be facts, but they take a lot of work to recognize that, to be able to peel them away and see that what I have done is I've created this story for myself about what my reality is. Um, when I hear feelings aren't facts, I may get defensive because I think it might be that I feel this way because I heard when I was young that I cried too much. Um, and I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying this is what I heard. And it's a result of just being kids. And I feel like I started to tell myself that story that I did cry too much. And today, who knows? I take medication that stops me from crying so much, but it doesn't invalidate the fact that that stuff is still there. Um, I feel like I want to protect that version of me that used to cry all the time. When I hear feelings aren't facts, I want to go to that little girl and say, I know that you feel that they are facts, though. You know, I can't hear it. It's hard. Um, there's a fine line between acknowledging my emotions and actually letting them dictate my actions. And that's where the work is. Um, my recovery, my program encourages me to balance my emotional awareness with logic. And that is freaking difficult. It's difficult. Um, instead of instead of dismissing my feelings by just saying, well, feelings aren't facts, Rachel. Um, I need to look at them as a red flag, a red light. The red light is going off. Um, and then say, okay, I hear you. I see that that feeling is there. What is it trying to tell me? Um, what what is if feelings are facts, then what is it that's clouding the facts? Is it fear? Is it some past trauma or insecurity? If I saw my, you know, if my mother, let's say, was feeling the same way that I'm feeling, what would I say to her about feeling this way? And that really helps me decipher between my feelings and facts. Is if I put those feelings into somebody else and I look at them from a distance and recognize that those are emotions that are clouding reality. Um, it allows me, if I take that stuff, and let's say what that is almost like putting it in a God box. It's taking it out of me and putting it somewhere so that I can look at it, like get a bird's eye view of what that feeling is, and then ground myself without the feeling and do like a reality check. And I felt a little tinge of that this morning. I felt a little tinge, and this is a good thing. A tinge is a good thing. I felt a little tinge of, okay, um, what's going on inside of you, this sadness and stuff is it's something I can't even remember. Did I write it down what the thing was that I thought? Um, I think it was like I wrote down emotional maturity can be cultivated. Um, being honest about where we are and what needs to be repaired. These, these, I guess, pieces of, I guess, advice for myself is reminding me, oh yeah, um, you could do the work. And What I told a friend of mine this morning in my sobriety, she sent me a message and she's like, I'm really sorry that you're struggling. Like you're here, you have so many people that love you. I know that, but I need to hear that. I don't want anything else from anybody. I just want to know that somebody is there for me. It's odd. It's not odd. I mean, we all want to know that somebody's there for us. But when I hear somebody say that to me, it makes all the difference. It just does. When I tell somebody what's going on with me and how I'm feeling, I don't want them to fix me. And I think I was talking about that yesterday. Like, I don't want to talk about it because I'm afraid you're going to fix me. Maybe I'm afraid you're going to try to fix me. Maybe I'm afraid that you're going to try and you won't be able to fix me. I don't know. But what I do know, and my psychiatrist said this yesterday, she's like, have you thought about telling people what you need from them? And I said, no, because I expect people to know what I need. You know, it's like being in a relationship and you just expect your husband to be able to read your mind and know that something's bothering you. You're not going to say anything. You know, he left his socks on the floor. You're not going to say anything. You're just going to let that build up for 10 years until eventually he puts a sock on the floor and you freaking lose your mind, you know? Um, she reminded me that I have to tell people what I want and what I don't want. And sometimes when somebody does what I want without me having to tell them, it's like, excuse me, it's like, oh, thank God somebody knows what I needed. You know, I just needed somebody to tell me that you have so many people that are that love you. I can even tell you what she said. Um, she said she loves me and she's sorry that I'm struggling and wishes she could take it away and help me feel better. Um, she told me that I'm loved by many and are a beacon of hope for many, especially her, and sent me a huge virtual hug. I mean, that is what I needed. And sometimes I don't know what I need, you know, and that's when I get, I think that's when my emotional immaturity shines. Um, Using my emotions as something like data collection rather than evidence helps me decipher again between emotional awareness and logic or using the both of those together. Knowing that just because I feel it doesn't mean that it's even more true than it was before. If that guy goes home, burns his French fries, and then he's like, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. Just because he started recognizing it that night that he was a failure doesn't mean that he's any more a failure, excuse me, than he was before he met with his boss and didn't get that promotion. He wasn't a failure before that. Um, Being a failure is a story that I tell myself. It's not true. Um, if I can find the courage to pause and maybe even write it down, or yeah, maybe even write it down and be like, here's two columns. On the left-hand side, this is what I'm feeling. And the right-hand side are the things that I know to be true. And look at how much they conflict with each other. if I were to look at how I've been feeling over the past couple weeks, I don't know, it's been a week. The last time I was in this kind of a funk, it took a couple weeks, and it's coinciding directly with how crappy I feel in my head, like my symptoms and everything, which is how it was last time too. So that's something to be acknowledged. But if I can look at how I've been feeling, if I force myself to write down, these are the facts that I know to be true. Um, I know that people are listening to my podcast. I know that I have more and more subscribers every day. I know that people care about me because they tell me so. Um, and I really maybe write it down and then reread it as I keep telling myself the emotions are telling myself the opposite. Um, I have been sharing in my meeting this morning, I shared, I talked about how I feel. I said, I'm only sharing because I don't want to, just like me hitting record. And it helps me to find some clarity in what is real and what is my, emotional summer home that I've been retreating to inside of myself. Um, how I talk through even this phrase, feelings aren't facts, helps me instead of leaving me frustrated like it did when I heard it today. Because feelings do matter, but they don't have to rule or have power over me in the present moment. And that was something that my psychiatrist said yesterday. I mentioned it in the podcast yesterday. Um, I want to keep trying to save the present moment, protect the present moment. Yesterday, the image of the podcast episode was a thief stealing a woman's watch, and it was representing um, fear stealing from the present moment. I love doing those images because it really allows me to be creative with what I'm thinking in my head and how does that feeling how is that reflected in day-to-day life? And to me, my feelings of fear stealing the present moment was like a thief uh, stealing my watch when I'm sitting on a park bench and I'm not paying attention to the fact that I'm sitting in a beautiful park, you know? Um, so all of this has been helpful to me. Am I feeling better? You know, I'm feeling I'm feeling encouraged to do the work today. That's what I feel. Um, and I think encouragement helps me to honor my emotions while also seeking the truth about what's really going on. Um, I I just need to keep talking, you know? Um, so I think my suggestion today is to look inward and think about, is there a story that you're telling yourself that isn't true? Is there a feeling that you have that is a fact? Or is it something that is it your perception of reality. Because it is most likely the latter of the two. And I'm going to keep digesting what this phrase means to me, but I think this was really helpful for me to not get so irritated when I hear that saying. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.